The distinction between oneself and the other must always be preserved. The genuine lover always encourages the unique individuality of the beloved. Failure to respect this separateness is the cause of much suffering. In its most extreme form, this failure is called narcissism. Narcissistic individuals are actually unable to perceive their children, spouses, or friends as separate from themselves on an emotional level. Since they do not perceive others as others, but only as extensions of themselves, narcissists lack empathy, the capacity to feel what another is feeling. Lacking empathy, narcissistic parents usually fail to offer recognition or verification of their children's feelings. No wonder, then, that such children grow up with grave difficulties in recognizing, accepting, and managing their own feelings. The vast majority of parents fail in some degree to recognize and appreciate the unique individuality or otherness of their children. Parents will say, "He's a chip off the old block," or "You're just like your Uncle Jim." Athletic fathers push scholarly sons into football, and scholarly fathers push athletic sons into books, causing much guilt and turmoil. Adolescents frequently complain that they are disciplined, not out of genuine concern, but because of parental fear that they will give the parents a bad image. The difficulty humans seem to have in fully appreciating the separateness of those they are close to interferes with all intimate relationships, including marriage. Not too long ago, in a couples group, a member stated that the purpose and function of his wife was to keep their house neat and him well fed. I was aghast at his chauvinism, but to my horror, all 6 members of the group, male and female alike, define the purpose and function of their husbands or wives in reference to themselves. All failed to perceive that their mates might have a separate existence or any identity apart from their marriage. "Good grief," I exclaimed, "it's no wonder you are all having difficulties in your marriages. And you'll continue to until you recognize that each of you has your own separate destiny." Profoundly confused, the group somewhat belligerently asked me to define the purpose and function of my wife. "The purpose and function of Lily," I responded, "is to grow to be the most of which she is capable, not for my benefit, but for her own and to the glory of God." The problem of separateness in close relationships has received more attention from a political than from a marital standpoint. Pure communism, for instance, not unlike the aforementioned couples, insists that the purpose and function of the individual is to serve the society. The destiny of the individual is of no consequence. Pure capitalism, on the other hand, espouses the destiny of the individual even at the expense of the society. Widows and orphans may starve, but this should not prevent the entrepreneur from enjoying all the fruits of his or her initiative. Neither of these pure solutions can be successful. The individual's health depends upon the health of the society. The health of a society depends upon the health of its individuals. There is an analogy between marriage and a base camp for mountain climbing. If one wants to climb mountains, one must have a place where one receives nurture before one ventures forth. A common marital problem is created by the husband who devotes all his energies to climbing mountains and none to tending his marriage, expecting it to be there in perfect order whenever he chooses to return for rest and recreation. Sooner or later, this capitalist approach fails, and he returns to find his untended camp a shambles, his neglected wife hospitalized for a nervous breakdown or having absconded with another man. An equally common marital problem is created by the wife, who, once married, feels that the goal of her life has been achieved. To her, the base camp is the peak. She cannot understand her husband's need for experience beyond the marriage and reacts with jealous demands that he devote ever more energy to the home. This communist resolution creates a suffocating relationship from which the husband, feeling trapped, may flee. The women's liberation movement has pointed the way to the ideal resolution. Marriage as a cooperative institution, requiring mutual contributions, existing primarily to nurture each participant for individual journeys toward individual peaks of spiritual growth. Male and female, both must tend the hearth, and both must venture forth. It is the separateness of the partners that enriches the union. Great marriages cannot be constructed by individuals who are terrified by their aloneness and seek a merging in marriage. Genuine love respects and cultivates the individuality of the other, even at the risk of separation or loss. The goal of life remains the spiritual growth of the individual, the solitary journey to peaks that can only be climbed alone. Significant journeys cannot be accomplished without the nurture provided by a successful marriage or a successful society. Marriage and society exist for the basic purpose of nurturing such individual journeys. But the return of the individual to the nurturing marriage or society from the peaks he or she has climbed alone serves to elevate marriage or society to new heights. Individual growth and society's growth are interdependent, but it is inevitably lonely out on the growing edge.